Welcome to Pods with Posh and Paul, a podcast designed to inspire and challenge listeners through story, experience and insight. To face adversity, learn from suffering and discover how to embrace life with a heart filled with love and gratitude. We are so thrilled to have you journey with us and can't wait to share your stories. Join Sue O'Callaghan and Joanne Webb as we disrupt the theory that everyone has perfect lives.
Hi and welcome to this episode of TeenPODS, and we are so pleased to have with us Khoa. Hi Khoa, how are you doing?
Howdy, I'm doing good.
Khoa, you are a gym owner over in Sydney, that's correct, isn't it?
That is absolutely correct.
And you've had a bit of a colourful life and a few things have happened along the way. So what would be your one main message to teenagers?
Well, my one main message would be, if you do go out for drinks, be responsible. Know your limits. Know your limits.
And it's a very hard thing to do as a teenager, though, isn't it? Because they're testing their limits, they're testing their boundaries, and they often think they can do things because they feel quite indestructible. So it's a great message, absolutely fantastic, and we totally wholeheartedly agree with your message. But tell us a little bit about your experience and what happened to you when you didn't know your limits.
Well, I guess just like every other teenager, young adult, I did feel invincible. So I would go out, drink every single weekend, or sometimes every night if there's a special occasion, where I didn't think of any repercussions that would bestow upon me in cases where I blank out, which I did. I blanked out plenty of times. That term blind drunk. In my case, I did find that, I did find that limit. Unfortunately, I woke up with missing limbs. That was the result of finding that limit.
So your story, Khoa, is one of a car accident, isn't it? Where your life was changed overnight. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So it was a night out for a friend's birthday up in the city, and prior to that, I was a young and gun. I'm invincible. Alcohol, yep, it's part of my life. Having fun, that's how I socialize. Well, that's how I assumed you socialize. This one night where I went out for the party, I drank like I normally did. Just kept drinking. But it was to the point where I got blind drunk. And it wasn't the first time I got blind drunk. So previous occasions, it was a common occurrence where there was no repercussions of that. But it was only that night where my life turned upside down.
And just to stress the fact, you did not get in a car and drive. So we just want to make that really clear to people. However, you didn't know if the driver had been drinking, hadn't been drinking, because you didn't have all your faculties about you, basically. You were so blind drunk, you were a passenger in a car, and when you knew about it, you realised you drove into a pole, is that right? Or the driver drove into a pole and you lost both your legs.
Yes, that's correct. So I did not know anything. As the term blind drunk, you legit don't know what happened. I only found out when I woke up in the hospital after realising I lost my legs that I was the passenger. I was the rear passenger. And I found out later that my friend drove and hit a pole. So it was a single car collision. We were almost home. So there's statistics saying that most of the accidents occur when you're like 5 minutes away from home. And this was true to the fact. That's where the impact happened.
And so our message to listeners is that we don't want to stop teens drinking, we don't want to stop them having fun, but it is know your limits, isn't it? So that if you get to the stage where you are semi-conscious, you're not aware of what you're doing, then you're in a dangerous state. So it's about safety, isn't it?
100%. It's about safety. It's about knowing your limits, know when to stop. Our surroundings can influence us in terms of raising that stake of, all right, I'll have one more. I'm still right. No, well, I'll have another one. But at the end of the day, you have to know when to stop. And like I learned the hard way, you know when to say no. You have to say no.
Khoa, you've got such an amazing outlook on life. You know, you have lost both your legs. You don't let anything stop you. You own a gym. You are extremely fit. You've got a whole positive outlook on life. When you look back now, comparing your life to your party days, is it nice that you can actually remember everything about your day-to-day experiences now, and you're not always blind drunk, and you actually can remember the good times and you enjoy them?
Yes, that's definitely right. So I don't have any case of being curious in a sense to what happened the day before, because I'm more level-headed, more clear-minded. I basically stopped drinking alcohol, and that was my choice. It was my choice to keep healthy, keep fit, and live a healthy life in a sense. But yeah, just the fact that I could wake up and remember everything from, if I could backtrack 4 or 5 weeks ago, I could have a giggle about something funny that happened because I'm still there. There's no alcohol clouding my memory.
And we love your positive message, because teenagers, it's a difficult time to learn responsibility, isn't it? There's a consequence for decisions that we make. And if you're going to make a decision to do something, that's fine. You've got the independence to do that. But actually, there's a consequence for decisions. So if you're going to go out drinking, what would be the worst case scenario? Could I cope with that? And to actually learn autonomy, that you are responsible for yourself. Beyond that, it's so exciting to hear that you are such a positive person, that your outlook is to build a business, to reestablish your life. And again, the message for teenagers is that no matter what adversity and crisis comes your way, there are ways of overcoming suffering and pain and setbacks. Is that right?
Yes, it's at the end of the day, it's your choice how to look at life. And if you've been in if you had a traumatic event like myself, I had every choice to go the opposite way of what I'm doing now, and people wouldn't judge me for that, because if they see me, they go, okay, he's been in a serious accident. We don't know his story, but the way he's acting, it's understandable. But I didn't choose that path. My choice was to give myself full of positive abundance and to radiate that to other people, especially when they can see me. Why is this person who has 2 missing limbs always smiling, always happy, and always engaging? It's kind of like a mismatch. But when you realize it's a choice that we can have, a positive or a negative.
Yeah.
And that's a really critical message, I think, because there might be listeners on board who are saying, well, look, I've not had a major car accident. I don't drink a lot. And actually, you know, I haven't lost 2 limbs like you have, but I have been in a traumatic situation. And you've just said, people see us, they don't know our story. So lots of listeners have got a story of tragedy, of heartache, of pain. And I think your message is to push through, that there are ways that we can rebuild our life. Our life might not look like the expectation we had, the hope that we had before. We might lose some of our dreams, but we can rebuild our life in a different way. There's no point in giving up, or there's tools and techniques we can use to overcome.
Yes, 100%. The tools that I use it's very simple, and anyone and everyone can do it. It's just to accept quickly, forgive easily, and be physically fit. Those combined, you can live in abundance and you can be fulfilled.
Yeah, so accept easily, or accept quickly, forgive quickly as well, and to be physically fit. They really, as you say, they're really, really simple messages. And as you say, teenagers, adults, everybody can take them away.
Exactly. It applies to any, how would you say, any, not just traumatic events, but business, love life, whatever surrounding you. You can apply those principles to get a positive outlook and move on.
And we also don't want to underestimate what people are going through. So when we say accept, that place of acceptance, there's a journey of grief. So if you're listening right now and you're in that place of suffering, and it's dark and it's bleak and it's black, there is a place in acceptance where you need to grieve, you need to feel angry, you need to feel your sense of rage. Feel your feelings. We're not saying get over it and move on quickly. That place of acceptance is a place of grieving, and there's a time for that as well, isn't there?
Yes, there's a time and a place, and how much time you want to spend on it. Everyone's different, but you would want to grieve for a bit, or as long as you can, not as long as you can, as short as you can, and then move forward, because life doesn't stop for you. The world keeps revolving around and around. And if you still stay in the past, then you're only playing catch-ups with life itself.
And I think that's a lovely message for everybody. And I think, for teenagers at the end of the day, and this is the message we give out, it's their life. They can decide how they want to live it. And it's the same with anybody, adults as well. If you want to live in sadness and bitterness, then that's a choice. But if you want to move forward in positivity, and if you want to make something of your life, that's also a choice. Yeah. And I think I just want to go back to the whole alcohol thing. If you choose to drink alcohol, do it safely, do it wisely. Remember, everything is affecting your health. And if you really can't remember a night, is that really a fun night? Ask yourself these questions, because these are where the empowerment is. This is where the power is for you. You choose, you decide. If you're getting to the point where you have to get so out of it that you cannot remember, there's questions you need to go and ask yourself as to why you are doing that, because it's not a healthy way to live. And trust me, life can be such fun if you want it to be fun, and it's nice to remember all the good stuff. I know sometimes we do things to block out the bad stuff, but there's healthier ways to do it than to drink yourself into an oblivion.
100%. You can have the most fun without alcohol, as what I'm experiencing. Like, I've never thought about it, but just to laugh, enjoy with friends without any influence is a great feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
Khoa, you are such an inspiration. If we have listeners that want to connect with you, I know that you've got a Facebook page and you've also got some of your gym training exercises on there. How can they connect with you?
They connect to me on, I got Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. On Instagram, it's a little bit technical, Khoa Nam Tran _osseointegration. The reason being osseointegration is my surgery implant for my prosthetic legs. So I've got 2 metal legs into my bone. That's the term, osseointegration. And my TikTok would be, I think, Khoa Tran, Khoa Nam Tran or Khoa Tran.
We'll find you.
Yeah, or you look on the socials, if you see this post. And my name, Khoa Nam Tran, on Facebook.
Lovely. And thank you so much for your time today. And it's a really, really solid message for teenagers. Alcohol's okay in moderation. We're not being all party poopers, but just all be careful.
Yes, 100%. In moderation.
Yeah.
And for teenagers that are seeking help for alcohol addiction, please do seek support through your GP or go online. You can look up I Am Hope. You can get free counselling sessions there. So there is support out there. Don't hesitate in going to get it. Thank you so much, Khoa, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being with us today. For us to inspire others to live their magnificently imperfect life, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or on your podcast app. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Pods with Posh and Pool. We can't wait for you to join us on our next episode. Love, light and peace.